Welcome to this week's edition of the Wiccan Forum. I'm Robert Vecchio.
And I'm Steve Pulowski.
And I'm Manny Ali.
Welcome back to this week's. And the first thing I want to talk about is we're going to talk about an article I found. I don't know what paper it was.
That's the record.
Is it
the Bergen record?
The Bergen record? Well, somebody had given it to me because everyone knows how much a dog lover I am. And if you can shoot in on this little... Can you get it? Good. That was Barbara Goodfriend in New Milford, comforting a dog that arrived in Essex County Airport on Saturday. The dogs flown in by volunteers were claimed by rescue groups and will be adopted out. These groups also deal with the dogs that were misplaced during the Gulf oil spill. And according to them, the National Council on Pet Population estimates that 9.6 million shelter animals are needlessly euthanized in each year. Since the oil spill, one shelter in Louisiana killed 900 dogs in a single month. So there's a place, Pilots and Paws hopes to decrease the number through connecting shelters with one another.
Doesn't the article also state that they have to euthanize so many dogs because after the oil spill, so many people lost their jobs?
Yes,
and they're struggling.
They couldn't take care of them.
They lost their jobs, they lost their homes, they had no way of taking care of these poor animals, and unfortunately, due to the whole area in the southeastern United States being like that, there were nowhere for these animals to go when they had to go to the shelters. The shelters went out of room, and the animals get euthanized.
Exactly, and it's a shame, and they should, like they did for Hurricane Katrina, they should bring these animals to different parts of the country and try to and adopt them out. And this one's a little cutie.
Well, I do believe that the article said that there were 168 different animals, mainly dogs, I guess, that they did bring down from that region.
Yeah.
That were to be adopted out in the northeast area.
58 pilots helped transport 168 dogs to be adopted and fostered in the northeast alone.
And then there is actually also a website. It is Pet Rescue, that's PETRESQ Inc.petfinder.com, where you can go and save and look at the animals that they brought up, and if you have a place in your home for one, that would be the website for you to go and look at.
Yeah, Pet Finder stuff. I thought that was exciting news and interesting news. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is I'm getting tired of all the comedians and all the talk show hosts saying dabbling in witchcraft. Everybody says they're dabbling in witchcraft. Bruce Willis was on the Late Show that says I dabbled in witchcraft, and then Christine O'Sullivan, O'Donnell, whatever. O'Donnell said she dabbled in witchcraft. Okay, leave it alone already, people. I think everybody in maybe 90% of America has dabbled in witchcraft. Okay, they don't understand that if you don't dabble in witchcraft, going to the Catholic Church lighting a candle will be doing the same thing. It's a spell, so. What are your guys' opinions on this?
I think they're just kind of sensationalizing it because it's the quote-unquote word witchcraft. I mean, it's a religion, you know, any way you take it. And, I mean, you don't have people going, oh, well, I dabbled in Christianity for a little while. I dabbled in Catholicism. I dabbled in Judaism. You know, there's a double standard there, which is a little, you know, and after a point, it becomes to where it sounds like they're making fun of it. They're not necessarily saying it with any kind of sincerity behind it, which is a little...
Exactly. They're treating it like it's a bad thing. Well, it's not really a bad thing. If that's your religion, then go with it. You're right about dabbling in, you know, Christianity. It's just nothing to be bad. Nothing to be, you know, I don't know. Maybe my words aren't coming out correctly today, but it's just getting me angry.
Yeah, but so many of the people that say they dabbled in witchcraft when they were younger, they probably followed the books by Anton LaVey and stuff, and that's not witchcraft, that's Satanism. That's totally different. I mean,
that's exactly it, though. A lot of the people who quote-unquote dabble don't know the difference.
They don't know there's a difference.
But then there's the preconception of witchcraft doing evil things. And of course, you know, the Satanism is like sacrificing animals and stuff. Maybe not
sacrificing?
Okay, maybe not Satanism is sacrificing animals, but Santeria is doing sacrificial of animals. But where was I going with this whole thought?
Yeah,
No
but those
idea.
religions also believe that you have to take a life to get a life.
Exactly.
That's why they practice that way.
But they're thinking it's the whole term witchcraft is a bad thing. But you know what? There's a lot of witches out there. Here's 3 for examples, and 1 behind the camera. You know, and we're doing all good.
Well, that's exactly a point also. When they say witchcraft, they're kind of generalizing everything into one group, whether
Yeah.
it be, you know, Wicca, Satanism, Santeria,
Voodoo.
voodoo, hoodoo, all that stuff. They just kind of take it and throw it all together in one big lump, which isn't the case.
Yeah. No, it's not. It shouldn't be a bad thing. There's a lot of good that witches can do. So. Speaking of witches, we had our recent celebration of Mabon, and which was really good. Lisa did an absolutely phenomenal job. Now, in the state of New Jersey, as a student or a teacher, if you're Wiccan, you can take off for the holiday as an excused absence. Do you know, in one of our local high schools, not mentioning any names, there was only 1 student that took it off as a religious holiday. And we have a couple of schools in the area, like 5 or 6 in the area, and only 1 student took it off. Also, no teachers actually took it off. So now what I was thinking while I'm actually talking is seeing if I can call the different high schools as a part of this show and see if I can ask them how many people actually took off. I know I only did a survey of 2 schools, and out of those 2 schools, 1 student and no teachers.
I don't necessarily know if it's the kind of information that they would just like
No,
give
exactly.
out like that, but I think it's more along the case of there wasn't any kind of like big formal announcement or something like that. You know, it's not like they had like this huge press release and said, you know, Wiccan holidays now excused absences in the state of New Jersey for the school districts. You know, it was just kind of like something that kind of just like slid under the radar through the cracks. And my personal opinion, my belief is that not a lot of people probably know that they can take off this day and it'll be counted as an excused
See,
absence.
I don't know about this. We have a large pagan community, and I believe that they will know about it. There's like message boards and stuff, and I'm sure it got out there. And to only have 1 student take off as a religious holiday, that's are you ashamed to be Wiccan? Did you not know about it? Like, what's the excuses of, you know, it not taking the day
My
off?
opinion is that the teachers didn't take the days off because they were afraid we were going to go back to the burning times and their job was going to be lost for some other reason other than taking a Wiccan holiday off. Because people nowadays are really fearful of losing their employment.
No, well, you're absolutely right, especially the job market the way it is
And they
today,
wouldn't
but
fire somebody because they're Wiccan,
Well, no,
but they
obviously
could
they
find
can't.
another excuse
they
to
can't.
get around
I
it.
mean, they can't fire somebody because of their religion. But I mean, it's also, I understand that everybody communicates with each other on these things, but it's not like the schools release a list and say these are the lists of excused holidays these are the list of religious holidays that you can take that are counted as excused absences. I mean, I know that
So
I've seen all
parents
the beginning of the.
I don't even think the parents get a list.
No,
You're
they
absolutely
don't,
right.
because I personally have seen all the beginning of the school year paperwork, and not once have I ever seen a list documenting the religious holidays that are counted as excused absences. Even
So
the mainstream ones. I
So
mean,
then
frankly,
I seriously think we should absolutely do something about it. Like, people should know and should be aware that you can take them off as an excuse.
you're
absence.
absolutely right. I don't know about you guys, but in my school district, nobody took off religious holidays until you hit high school. And that was really only as a way for the other kids to have a day off. Obviously, you know, not everybody that took off on Ash Wednesday was going to church and getting ashes on their forehead. So,
But we'll stop it there. We'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll see you soon.